a square-shaped object near the edge of a crater is being called a mystery hut.
Apparently, there is something moving across the surface of the moon.
The history books tell us only 12 men have left footprints on the surface of the moon.
That scientists have recently found.
One particular probe captured an image some theorists hail as early photographic evidence.
And let me tell you, it's as wild as it sounds. Number 23, caught in action. The footage straight up shows something bright and glowy moving on the moon. Yeah, you heard me right, it's moving.
Doch bei diesem Objekt sehen wir sofort, dass es sich ganz sicher nicht einen Satelliten handelt.
And mind you, this isn't a moon rock tumbling down a hill or some dust blowing around. Because, hello, no atmosphere. Also, the movement looks intentional, like the thing has to be somewhere at any cost. Naturally, the internet went full-on detective mode. Some say it's sort of an alien tech. Some think it's some kind of lunar creature.
Like and subscribe right now, and you'll have amazing luck for the rest of the week.
Because sure, why not? But the more boring explanation is that it's just thermal expansion or shadows messing with us. But then again, it can't be that bright and glowy. So, whether it's nature being weird or something straight out of moon fiction, it's definitely one of those moon mysteries that makes your thoughts go crazy. Number 22, the Mystery Cube. Next up, let's talk about one of the moon's most recent mysteries. China's Yutu-2 rover is a part of their Chang'e 4 mission. In December 2021, it was roaming around the moon's far side when it spotted something that made everyone go gaga. The rover's cameras captured a cube-like object on the horizon. And when I say cube, I mean it looked like something out of Minecraft.
Seen inside the red circle on your screen, looked like a cube sitting on the moon's surface.
The object's shape was so unusual that it got a nickname, Moon Hut. When the news broke, people went wild with theory. Maybe it was an alien outpost, or maybe a secret lunar research station, or rather a leftover prop from some Hollywood space movie. As Yutu-2 crawled closer over several weeks, scientists finally got a better look. And, drumroll please, it was a rock.
It will check out the area around the Jade Rabbit Rock, and it should be able to get some sharper images.
A weirdly shaped rock, sure, but a rock nonetheless. While it wasn't an alien Airbnb we all hoped for, it was a reminder of just how strange and unpredictable the moon can be. And who knows, maybe there are more huts waiting to be discovered. Number 21, the moon's movers and shaker. Okay, so rocks don't typically get up and walk around, as you all know. At least, not on Earth. But on the moon, things do get weird. Since the Apollo missions, astronauts have noticed something strange.
My guess is that most of these rocks around here are extremely shocked.
It's something like enormous rocks with trails behind them, as if they'd been rolling across the lunar surface.
Which is what all this is we're walking on right now, is this white rock breccia that Charlie tipped out of.
But the point to ponder here is that there's no wind or water on the moon to move these rocks. Yes, gravity is weaker there, but that's not enough to explain it. Some scientists think these movements could be caused by moonquakes. Moonquakes are small tremors that shake the ground and dislodge rocks. But here's the spooky part. Some trails are way too long and straight to be the result of a simple nudge. One famous example comes from the Apollo 17 mission. Astronauts Eugene Cernan and Harrison Schmitt came across a giant boulder with a trail that stretched for hundreds of feet. They jokingly called it the Lunar Bowling. It could be something or someone playing games on the moon, but whatever the case, these moving boulders are still one of the moon's biggest unsolved mystery. Number 20, the lunar zigzag lights. Guys, I have a question for you. Have you ever seen the moon twinkle? I'm pretty sure not. And I'm not talking about its glow from the sunlight. What I mean is strange flashes and zigzagging lights that appear out of nowhere.
Such as clouds that appear on the moon, or discolorations, or brightening and darkening.
Scientists call this phenomenon TLP, or transient lunar phenomena. And this phenomenon has been observed for centuries. The first recorded sighting dates all the way back to the 1700s, when astronomers noticed brief flashes of light on the moon. Fast forward to modern time, and we've captured these flickering lights on camera. They're quick.
Days later, another group of astronomers saw a wider general rise in luminescence on the moon.
They last only a few seconds, and they appear in random locations. According to some theories, they're caused by outgassing. Outgassing happens where pockets of gas escape from beneath the lunar surface, creating brief flashes of light, while other people think that meteoroids colliding with the moon could be the reason. But here's where things get interesting. Astronauts like Buzz Aldrin have also reported seeing strange flashes while orbiting the moon. And if you've got frequent space travelers baffled, you know it's a mystery worth looking into. Number 19. Yutu-2's weird discovery. China's Yutu-2 rover makes it to the list again because, well, It just keeps finding weird stuff. In 2019, while exploring a small crater on the moon's far side, the rover stumbled upon something totally unexpected. It was a patch of shiny and gel-like material. This was a big deal because, to be honest,
the Yuchu 2 was directed to approach the crater and examine its inside with its visible and near-infrared spectrometer.
We're not used to finding anything like a gel on the moon. The surface of the moon is supposed to be dry and dusty. Scientists think the substance could be melted glass, formed by the intense heat of a meteor impact. But the thing is, it didn't look like typical lunar glass. Its color and texture were not like anything previously documented.
In recent years, there's been a special interest in the dark side of the moon.
And to this day, the exact composition of the material remains unclear. The researchers are still analyzing the data. Maybe it is just another quirky geological formation. Or it might be something we've never seen before. Either way, it's one more reason to keep exploring the moon. Number 18, mysterious track. Now, let's talk about lunar tracks. Multiple lunar missions have photographed strange patterns in the moon's dust.
But a recent NASA image suggests that others have left their mark on the lunar surface.
These tracks often appear in straight or curved lines. They look like something or someone has been moving across the surface. But the weird fact is that they're also non-human footprints.
The history books tell us only 12 men have left footprints on the surface of the moon.
What's even stranger is that these tracks sometimes lead to nothing. No object, no rock, no rover, just a trail in the dust. One potential explanation is that some lunar rocks might have a strange habit of sliding on their own. It can happen due to possible temperature changes causing slight expansions and contractions. But other tracks are so precise that they almost seem like something left them behind intentionally.
They are exquisitely preserved on the lunar surface because geologic processes today are not erasing.
And let's be real. If you're watching this video, I know you're probably thinking it might be aliens. Look, I'm not saying it's aliens, but it's alien. Kidding. Or am I? Number 17, the Mystery Monolith. Alright, here's something that feels straight out of a space fiction movie. In 1966, NASA's Lunar Orbiter 2 captured an image of something weird. It was a tall and cone-like object casting a long shadow on the moon's surface.
One particular probe captured an image some theorists hail as early photographic evidence.
This so-called lunar monolith stands out tall against the flat plains around it. The photo sparked all sorts of debates. It could easily be a natural formation on the moon, but it could also be a leftover piece of alien technology, like a signal to let us know that we are not alone out here. Experts believe that it's more likely just a sharp rock coming out of the lunar surface. But the twist is, no other formation like it has been found on the moon. And then, its almost tower-like shape doesn't match anything we'd expect to find on the moon.
It is even theorized to serve as a launch pad for extraterrestrial spacecraft, or as a sophisticated communication device.
Even now, conspiracy theorists love pointing to the monolith as proof that someone got there before us. It's definitely one of the moon's more iconic mysteries. Number 16, the flag on moon. When Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin planted the American flag during the Apollo 11 mission, it was an iconic moment in history. But here's the weird thing. The flag shouldn't have looked the way it did. In the moon's zero atmosphere, there's no wind to make the flag wave. When NASA anticipated this, it designed a horizontal rod to hold the flag upright. This gave the flag that waving look. But then several years later, orbiters took photos of the Apollo landing sites, and guess what? The flag was still standing. Even after decades of micrometeoroid impacts and solar radiation, it hasn't fallen or disintegrated like many scientists predicted. And the most interesting thing is, it has gone completely white. So, why is it still there? Is it some super strong NASA fabric? Or is the moon just that weird? It's one of those small details that keeps people curious about what else might be preserved up there. Number 15, moonquakes that shouldn't happen. Okay, let's get back to movement. But this time, it's the moon itself. If you do not know this already, the moon has its own version of earthquakes. These are known as moonquakes, and some of these quakes seem to happen without any obvious cause.
Moonquakes are seismic activities that occur on the moon, similar to earthquakes here on Earth.
Unlike Earth, where quakes are caused by tectonic plates shifting, the moon doesn't have active tectonic plates. So, what's causing the ground to shake is a mystery. Scientists think it might have something to do with the moon expanding and contracting as it cools. But that doesn't explain all the quakes, especially the ones that seem to come out of nowhere. Here's a fun, or maybe a creepy thought. The moon could be hiding something beneath its surface, like a hollow core, or a secret lunar civilization. Or maybe it's just a natural phenomenon we don't fully understand yet. So the moonquakes are a reminder that the moon isn't as lifeless as it seemed. Number 14, a shiny surprise. Let's take a break from the spooky stuff and talk about something shiny, like glass beads. Yep, the moon is scattered with tiny glass spheres, formed by ancient eruptions and meteor impacts. These beads are fascinating for a couple of reasons. First, they're incredibly old, probably dating back to billions of years. Second, they're offering a snapshot of the moon's fiery past. Third, they might be more valuable than we realize. Some recent studies suggest that these glass beads could contain water trapped inside them. And if that's true, they could be a potential resource for future moon explorers. Because think about it for a while. The astronauts mining the moon for water hidden in shiny little beads. It sounds like something entirely impossible, but it might just be the key factor to living on the moon one day. Number 13, the Apollo 16 UFO sighting. Now, let's talk about UFOs now, because what's a moon mystery list without a little alien conspiracy? During the Apollo 16 mission in 1972, astronauts captured footage of a strange object hovering near the moon's surface. At first glance, it looked like a metallic, saucer-shaped craft. As expected, the footage sparked theories of alien visitors. However, NASA had a more grounded explanation for this. They claimed that the object was more likely part of the spacecraft itself, maybe like a piece of insulation or equipment that had come loose. But still, the sighting remains one of the most talked about UFO moments in space exploration. And honestly, who wouldn't want to believe that aliens were keeping an eye on us during our moon mission? Come on, they would obviously want to keep their home safe from intruders. Number 12, the far side's secret structures. Here's a quick question. What's on the far side of the moon? If you say nothing, you're not entirely wrong, but you're not entirely right either. The far side of the moon always faces away from Earth, and it has been the subject of speculation for a long time now. When the Soviet Union's Luna 3 probe sent back the first images of the far side in 1959, it revealed a surface covered in craters, but that surface lacked the large flat seas we see on the near side. Here's more. Modern missions like China's Chang'e 4 have discovered strange, mysterious formations that don't appear anywhere else on the moon. These might be just geological quirks, or they might be hinting at something more. No wonder the far side of the moon remains one of the most mysterious regions of our celestial neighbor. Number 11, the glass domes. We've all heard the rumors about the structures on the moon. This includes hidden alien bases or even massive glass domes where extraterrestrial life might be chilling. While these ideas do not sound like reality, the moon does have some genuinely odd formations that give a nod to these wild theories. In 2013, a conspiracy theorist caught the attention of the internet when he claimed to have found images of glass domes on the moon.
Directly to the dome's east is a dark shadow cast by the dome itself.
He pointed to some strange, semi-transparent structures visible in NASA photos of the lunar surface. Of course, the scientific community quickly dismissed the idea because they said that the shapes were probably natural lunar formations like craters or rock outcroppings. But hey, every time the moon's surface gives us something strange, it's easy to let your imagination run wild. And let's not forget, the moon has plenty of craters and caves that could serve as perfect spots for a secret base, as if someone were to hide something up there. But who can say? There's still a lot we don't know about the moon. Number 10, the Lunar Hen. Now, what if I told you there's a stone circle on the moon that looks oddly similar to Stonehenge? I know it sounds like the plot of a conspiracy thriller, but this is one of those bizarre lunar mysteries that has sparked major curiosity. In 1994, the Lunar Orbiter spacecraft captured a set of shadowy circular formations on the moon's surface. These formations look strikingly similar to Stonehenge. It has rocks arranged in a unique pattern. Scientists were quick to debunk it as another trick of light or an optical illusion caused by craters. But the idea that there might be ancient structures on the moon, whether natural or artificial, this is something that still lingers in the minds of many. Number 9, the shadow of the lunar module. When the Apollo missions landed on the moon, the astronauts left behind various pieces of equipment. This included the lunar modules themselves. These modules were designed to stay on the moon for the duration of the missions, and they are still there, collecting moon dust and enduring the harsh lunar environment.
When you see something that you've never seen before and in a quality that you've never seen before, it really just made me speechless.
What's crazy is that Even though the modules are thousands of miles away, their shadows can still be seen in photos taken from orbit. In 2009, NASA's Lunar Reconnaissance Orbiter captured images of the Apollo landing sites, and the shadows of the lunar modules were still visible, and they were clearly defined on the moon's surface. This might not be a mind-blowing mystery, but it's a small and mysterious reminder that we've left our mark on the moon, and it's still hanging around. Let's just hope we didn't leave anything embarrassing for the aliens to roast us. Number 8, the moon's lunar dust storm. Okay, so you might not think of the moon as being a dusty place, but it is extremely dusty. In fact, lunar dust is such a big problem that NASA has warned future astronauts about it. During the Apollo missions, astronauts got covered in a fine, sticky dust that got into their suits, equipment, and even their lungs.
If you look closely at Buzz Aldrin's feet and knees, you can see moon dust collecting on the outer layers of his spacesuit.
But that's not all. The dust has a weird property. It clings to things electrostatically. Now, imagine getting stuck in dust storms on the moon. It can be intense, but instead of just blowing around, they carry things with them, like particles or maybe even minerals that might hold secrets we haven't even begun to study. It really could be a thing that lunar dust contains hidden resources, or maybe something even stranger. Number 7, the strange X shape. I know you might have never thought of seeing an X on the moon. No, not the kind you'd find on a treasure map, but a strangely shaped feature on the lunar surface. One of the most curious formations spotted during the Apollo missions was a peculiar X-shaped shadow near the moon's cratered plain. Here's the most interesting thing about this formation. The way the shadow aligned perfectly with the lunar landscape says that it might not have been a natural occurrence. But scientists say that the idea that it's anything supernatural is not justifiable. Sorry folks, no secret alien landing pad. However, some people still wonder if it could be a product of tectonic shifts, ancient seismic activity, or even a leftover from some ancient lunar event. Whatever the cause is, this X shape stands out as an interesting mystery. Number 6, the glowing rock. Oh well, this one sounds like a piece from a space fiction novel, but bear with me. In the middle of the Apollo 17 mission, astronauts discovered a mysterious rock that seemed to glow faintly in the dark. Now, before you start imagining an alien artifact with strange properties, let's take a deep breath. It's most likely a rock that contains minerals that glow due to the radiation from the sun. The rock was found in a region known as the Taurus Littrow Valley. It is a place on the moon where certain minerals can actually emit a weak glow when exposed to sunlight or cosmic radiation. These glowing rocks are often referred to as phosphorescent rocks, and they're not a lunar exclusive. The Earth has them too. But still, the idea of discovering rocks that glow in the dark on the moon, a little freaky. It's just one more example of how the lunar surface never quite behaves as expected. Can't help but wonder what other secrets are still hidden in the moon's dust and craters. Number 5, the moon's faint vibration. Guys, this is a real head tuner. The astronomers and scientists have detected faint and almost imperceptible vibrations on the moon. These vibrations are not quite earthquakes or moonquakes, and they're not connected to any obvious cause. But they still exist, like a subtle hum deep within the lunar surface. Now, these vibrations could be a sign of some kind of lunar life. But before you start picturing giant subterranean moon creatures, let me break it to you that most scientists also believe that the vibrations are natural in origin. They think that these are likely caused by the moon's ongoing cooling process. But some more theorists out there believe these vibrations could point to something more profound, like hidden alien structures or even some sort of ancient and dormant technology. As far as we know, there's no definitive answer. The moon's silent hum remains one of those scary mysteries that's hard to shake off. No one is sure what could be causing these persistent vibrations. Maybe the moon is just alive in its own way. It's something we'll keep investigating, but for now, it's a strange and subtle riddle from our closest neighbor. Number 4, the Lunar Fountain. We're now talking about something that could change everything we know about the moon: water. You probably didn't expect to see water on the moon. I know. After all, it's supposed to be this dry, barren rock that's been hanging around for billions of years. But in recent years, scientists have discovered evidence of water locked beneath the moon's surface, that too, possibly even in vast amounts. The discovery began in 2009, when NASA's Lunar Reconnaissance Orbiter detected signs of water ice at the moon's poles. But here's where it gets wild.
It was deduced in surveys by the Clementine and Prospector missions, but it has not yet been confirmed.
A 2020 study found evidence of water in areas much closer to the equator than we ever thought was possible. This water is possibly trapped in the moon's dust and soil. It could be a potential resource for future missions to the moon. Imagine using the water on the moon to sustain astronauts, or even turning it into fuel for spacecraft. Some researchers think this discovery might even support the theory that the moon once had an environment much more like the Earth. And then maybe there is a hidden lunar oasis waiting to be tapped. Only time will tell. Number 3. The Lunar Cave discovery. One last time, if you thought the moon was just a dry and barren landscape, think again. In 2009, NASA's Lunar Reconnaissance Orbiter found evidence of a lunar cave near the moon's Marius Hill. And no, I'm not talking about a little nook where a moon hermit might live.
Pretty direct evidence of caves existing on other celestial objects. That evidence is mainly coming from the moon and Mars.
This cave is large enough to potentially serve as a natural shelter for future explorers. The cave is thought to be formed by ancient volcanic activity. It has created a tunnel-like structure beneath the surface of the moon. This discovery is massive for future missions because if the cave is stable, it could serve as a perfect location to build a lunar base. It offers protection from radiation, micrometeorites, and even extreme temperature. So, who knows? Maybe one day humans will be chilling in moon caves making history as the first space dweller. Number 2. The moon's Tycho Crater. Tycho Crater is like the moon's rock star. It's bright, bold, and hard to miss. It is located in the southern hemisphere, and this 85-kilometer wide impact crater is known for its stunning rays that shoot out from the center. They are even visible from Earth, even through a telescope. These rays make Tycho look like it's got its own spotlight on the moon. And what makes Tycho special is that it's relatively young. I guess it's only about 108 million years old. That means it's still got sharp and clean edges, unlike the older craters we see. And those bright rays were created when debris from the impact was blasted across the moon's surface. They're made of highland rock, not the typical basaltic stuff. Plus, the crater's age and structure have helped researchers understand the moon's geological past. Tycho might be a crater, but it's a major player in lunar science. We never knew a big hole in the moon could be so cool. Crazy. Number 1. The moon's teardrop crater. On the moon's surface, there's a unique feature that's also very oddly shaped. It looks like someone dropped a tear-shaped rock on the moon. It is known as the Chilkovsky Crater, and this formation is located on the far side of the moon, and is unlike most craters we see on the surface of the moon. What makes it so visually interesting is its unique teardrop shape. It was formed by an impact that didn't quite make sense. Instead, the asteroid or comet that created it came in at a certain angle, resulting in a distorted and asymmetrical crater. The Chilkovsky Crater is one of those strikingly unusual sights that gives us a deeper understanding of the moon's dynamic history. It is captured in high-resolution photos from the Lunar Reconnaissance Orbiter. It's like the moon has its own scars to show off, only this one looks like a teardrop. And that was all for today. What do you think about the mysteries that our moon holds? Let me know about your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to hit those like and subscribe button. See you in the next one. Goodbye.